Okay, call the meeting to order.
We don't have a quorum.
Well, it says, I'm
Yes,
supposed to
sir.
call the meeting to order first and then do a roll call.
All right.
And then, so I'm just following the numbers, as Tony Campbell taught me. Okay, so roll call of members. Keith Allgood, who's absent. Donna Boggs.
Here.
Tony Campbell.
Here.
Gary Corlew. Tom Cullen. Tony Gross, absent. He won't be. Leanne Ferguson, absent. Mike Patnote here. Chuck Slater,
I'm here.
here. Now that looks like a quorum, doesn't it?
I think it is.
Okay. All right.
We're not gonna vote on it.
I was gonna say, where's
So, non-voting staff, Sharon Armstrong is here. John Lawless. Martha Brooke Perry will not be here tonight, correct?
Correct.
Okay. All right, so we do have a quorum. So you have the minutes in front of you for the March 9 meetings, two of them. One is the Planning Commission meeting minutes, and one is the Design Review Board meeting minutes.
I move that we approve both as circulated.
Second.
Okay? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, the ayes have it. The minutes are approved. Okay,
Wouldn't that be?
the agenda for today is the introduction of new Kingston Springs City Planner Sharon Armstrong. Is there anything else?
Yes, I wanna discuss the strip mining operation up on East Kingston Springs Road.
Discuss East Kingston Springs
The
Road.
strip mining, or whatever it's called,
Where are you talking about specifically?
I don't know what the number is.
I
It's
mean,
right
but-
there on East Kingston Springs Road on the left-hand side, just past the storage sheds.
Okay, I just wanted to know where you're talking
Oh,
about.
the McPherson stuff.
McPherson.
Yes, okay, now I know what you're
We
talking
just all
about.
wanna be at the same location, you know.
Yeah, I was
There's a
thinking you were
couple
talking
more
about.
on
That's why I just wanted to make sure we were talking about the
Okay,
right one.
so we're talking about the property next to the storage.
Right.
Storage is 109, by the way,
Okay,
if that helps.
all right.
Next
So,
door to that one.
we'll just add that as Tony wants to discuss that. So, do we have a confirmation of the agenda, a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so, with the addition of, the discussion of the, land next to the storage facility where all that excavation is going on. Okay, so we're on to item number 6, introduction. John, you wanna handle that, or Sharon gonna handle that herself? or-
I will initially introduce Sharon Armstrong as the town of Kingston Springs' new city planner, and let Sharon come up and tell you, the board, a little more about her.
Okay?
We already know all that. We've known her for years.
I know, I did, it's
Yeah,
formatted.
but it'll be on the video for everybody else to
Yes.
watch. Okay.
Briefly,
Well,
I'm
there's
an
no reason to
AICP
come.
certified planner, undergrad at NTSU. My graduate degree was from Delta State University. I am also a federally certified planner. I worked for Kingston Springs in the past. I have assisted you with a number of projects, and I'm delighted to be back. Are there any questions that you have for me?
Did you think about this seriously?
Pardon?
Did you think about this seriously?
This is probably the best one she's ever gonna come in contact.
You're probably accurate in that statement. You're probably the most knowledgeable jurisdiction that I work with. I recently finished some work in Clayton County, Georgia, which is the airport. They call it Atlanta Airport. It's not actually in Atlanta, it's in Clayton County. And I met with their planning commission, and one of them said, "Do we have a book to go by?" You've been implemented for 42 years and you don't know you have a book. Okay, so we started from there. But I am delighted to be back.
Well, welcome.
Thank you.
We're thrilled to have you.
Okay, so, anything else on Sharon? Okay, so, Tony, you wanted to discuss,
Well, you know, I think that you drive into Kingston Springs and see that mess. From my perspective, it's embarrassing.
Well, I think it's a little bit confusing about, is it something new that's going on? Is it a continuation? Is it left over from what was? Well, but I mean, if you don't know that, I think that it's confusing about, is it a continuation or did it end up being a dump site from the storage building
Well, to some extent.
process?
And I just think that it's been sitting there, I don't know, John, you probably have some dates, but I would say, are you wanting to be recognized?
No, that's what it is.
Didn't Mr.
Been sitting
McPherson
there
come
something
before
like a
us?
year. He
Yes,
came
he's been-
before us a
he-
number.
a number of
Hasn't he
times.
been before us? Like,
Yeah.
I know that
3 or 4
turned
times.
down something because it wasn't anywhere close to,
Well, we told
we
him
needed.
he wanted us to rezone it,
right,
R3.
R3, yeah.
and we said no, that we would do,
PUD.
a
R3.
PUD,
PUD.
an R3 PUD. He said no, and walked out, that was
Yeah,
it.
That was the last
he
one,
said-
right?
Yeah, he said his people told him that they didn't wanna do that. And that's the last, and even after that, they continued to bring in fill and all that, and all of a sudden it just stopped.
Yeah.
And it's nothing now.
You got
Well,
big
he
A big
banner
hole.
signs
told
up.
me that he needed a partner, that he couldn't do that.
Well, he said that in
by
one of the
himself,
meetings,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, then he needs, what I think, and I don't know, I haven't read our zoning or our ordinance on grading or anything. I think he also had to have a state grading permit. I think someone needs to look at that. And I think he ought to be required to restore the site. And I would encourage the commission, Gary, to order the city manager or the assistant city manager and the attorneys to pursue that. And I would love a motion from this planning commission to
So moved.
instruct the city commission to pursue this. It's just
Okay,
very
now,
useful.
tell me what's the difference in what Carl's doing now? He's got a grading permit, and he's back there just doing it. You can't even see what he's doing.
Well, I
It
see what
may
he's
look
doing
worse than
because
the
I
other.
sneak around and look.
But the difference is, if it was visible, you'd be having the same concern, but because
Right.
you can't see it from the road,
Well,
and,
it's just horrible.
well, and it's not that I think any of us disagree with that. However, can we let Carl continue to do what he's doing?
He's not.
Because
He'll be before us at, May meeting or April meeting.
I didn't get any submissions from him today, which was the cutoff for the May meeting, so
So
it'll be
it'll
June
be
meeting
June
before he
meeting.
will come.
But at least we know what he's doing. We know that as much as we have to beat upon Carl to get things done, and as much as he plays the, please forgive me, I don't wanna ask permission business, it gets done. But the other place, I mean, there was no plan, I've never seen a plan, to what he was doing grading wise. He just had Bowers up there with a couple bulldozers pushing stuff around. The erosion control was inadequate. I think the state called him on that on a number of times. They're just laying there raw with nothing happening, a couple crude signs saying closed.
I can give you a little bit of background. James Parks and I did a little bit of investigation over the last day or two. And the property does have an approved stormwater pollution prevention plan and erosion plan in place that was approved by TDEC as well as our city engineer, and that was from June of 2016. My understanding from reading it is that it's in place until the sequence of construction has been completed. He does have a grading well, actually, his grading permit just expired, and he had contacted, Mr. McPherson had contacted James Parks, indicating he was gonna come back in and renew his grading permit.
does he have a deadline on that to renew it?
Look tomorrow.
I mean, it's
No, there's not a
obviously
deadline.
up, so
It's up,
he
so
just
he-
can't do anything else
Correct.
until he gets
He
one.
can't proceed until he has a new permit in place. James has reached out to the engineer that's in charge of that project to see what phase of construction the project currently is in. Our guess is that it's in, if you want to, for lack of a better term, a settlement phase. Once that dirt has been moved, they're going to let it settle before they move it again. If it was topsoil, our codes require it to be seeded and strawed, greened. If it's fill dirt, then it can be fill dirt.
But none of that is fill dirt. It's stuff that, he's cut that down.
He has, and we'd be happy to investigate. It would need to be something that is put on the May Planning Commission agenda for the board to act on.
So, Sharon, is appropriate? I mean, are you part of this meeting? Can you offer some commentary on that?
I can. I can review the project. The SWIP plan is a notice of intent. It's issued with an intent to do a project. Midterm, there should be a report, it's filed with that SWIP, to let everybody know where it is. There is a live stage for those plans. So I will talk with John and we'll get together to see where he is. Was there a site plan submitted to the city for that project?
I believe there was,
So,
yes.
well, sort of.
Not really. I
Not
don't-
really.
I don't think there's
I
anything
mean, it
that
was
we
just a
approved,
very
right?
crude push and shove and, oh, I wanna put some apartments here and some there, and I want you to zone this R3 and this C1 or C2, I can't remember.
Did we approve anything with that when they did the storage building? They were gonna clean that up, that was part of they were gonna clean that up over there.
No, that wasn't part of their property. And I think they moved that dirt over there because he asked them to put it over
Well, but I remember that there was a conversation when the storage facility came to us about the overgrowth of that lot over there, and they were going to, while they were excavating their site.
there. I don't remember that.
We have it in the record, I guess, but I remember them putting the road in to access the back, and I remember their discussion about a bank behind the facility.
Clean it up, I mean, I don't think it was a big deal, but I think that they were just gonna, in the process of that kind
They
of,
did that, because that's what.
but I
goes
don't
to-
remember us going any further than that with anything that would have been approved, is I guess what I'm
Yeah.
getting at,
We,
right?
we told him what we would approve, which is an R3 PUD, and he agreed to it, but then he talked to his engineer, and his engineer told him, no way.
Right.
Then that all ceased.
I was just
Right.
trying to figure out how we got stuck in what we've got over there now.
So,
So
He's
to your
probably run, he's
question,
probably run out of money. But
so to your question, I don't think that we approved anything was my point.
So-
Did any of that come, and I don't,
We told him what we would approve.
I only remember us telling him we did not approve
I remember that.
his request.
Yeah, we did not approve anything,
And,
no.
but if he wanted to bring a PUD, that's what
We
we wanted to look at.
He had done, I don't wanna badmouth John's predecessor, but I think he had a tendency to tell people what they wanted to hear. And I think Mr. McPherson got cranked up and went ahead based upon what that young man told him, and that's what happened.
That could
So-
very well be.
Huh?
It could very well be.
I don't think that you'll find in going back that we approved what is there now. You know, it was an easy cleanup, we're gonna create this road, we'll clean up a little bit of that while they're doing the storage building, and I remember those, but it wasn't anything that we approved for being left like it is.
There
So-
are some rather stringent rules at state level on the use of fill material for a building pad. There is a proctoring requirement, an engineering standard that has to be met. Compaction of soil, that's to prevent sinkage, slippage, slope in the future. So the first step would be to identify if there is a site plan. Second, to review the SWIP to see exactly what it contains, because you apply for a SWIP based on the outcome of your project. If you apply for a general fill permit without the intent to build, those have very different circumstances than a permit to deposit fill for the purposes of construction. So we'll look at the NOI, you can find those online. We can also look and see if there are any progress reports.
I think you ought to look at the state permit to see what it says too.
Yes, sir.
I
The
know
state-
he's been called by the state. The lady that lives down at the bottom had some serious problems with mud and stuff coming off of there.
Yeah, they had to put a new pipe in down there for her. Yeah.
There was a somewhat similar project in Ashland City about 9 years ago, off of Highway 12.
And we didn't learn from that.
That resulted in the tampering with some blue line streams. 9 years later, the developer is still being litigated by the state. That developer was also the developer of Braxton condominiums. So.
It doesn't surprise me.
There you have it, there you
The fine was assessed at $300,000. The state normally will waive the fine if remediation is done.
I guess in the interest of time, Mr. Assistant City Manager, I would ask that you consult with the attorneys and with the planner and gather all of the information that there is to be had to bring before this body at its next meeting.
Concerning the status of that site.
The status
Yeah.
and what's going on with it.
Yeah,
And what our options are.
And what our options are as far as
right.
requiring.
I think that
it to
should
do
be the-
something.
Right.
Just-
Discuss what our options are in May.
I just
We'll add
think
it to
it's
the May agenda.
embarrassing.
Oh, it's terrible looking.
Okay, does that,
Short term, I would notify the developer that all work is to cease. until-
Well, they haven't been doing anything up there,
They've done
that's
it
the
in
problem.
6, 8
There for a while, there were trucks going in there, you know, right at one another, all day long. Then all of a sudden it stopped and they put up a sign, you know, and all they got is a phone number, what that phone number's for, I have no idea.
We'll run it down.
Anyhow, I just think it's a shame, and I think it's gonna be hard to hold Carl's feet to the fire when that's right over the hill from.
Well, that was my point earlier, you know, let's make sure we do
And the
this.
guys that built the storage unit, as much as I was opposed to that,
Did a good job.
they did a good job. They did everything that we asked them to do and went above and beyond. And apparently it's full, so they knew.
Well, it is full.
I
That's what
heard
I've
that.
been told.
I heard that recently.
good for them.
So apparently they were right, and I was wrong. Amazing.
So in terms of this request, I know you got it, do we need it in a motion?
Do you want a motion to that effect?
You cannot formally, if I can interrupt you, and I apologize, it's not an agenda item. You can have it for discussion, but you can't take.
We can
it.
ask for it to
Okay.
be
Put
put
it-
on
put it
May's
on the
agenda
next
and then
So
make it-
we're
You
asking
can direct staff, you can make.
for it to be
requests.
on the next agenda.
And then that makes it formal.
Okay,
Well, in the interim, you do have the authority to direct staff to do the investigation, to look at the project. Just can't take it.
so it'll be in the meeting minutes, what the
Yes,
discussion
I
was.
agree.
Yes,
So we'll have record,
yes.
okay.
Thanks, sir.
We think
Thank
we've
you.
had all the training we need.
What else
Is,
there?
is there anything else?
I'll move
Do I have a
we
motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Meeting's adjourned.